one of the viral things you said that got a lot of women upset is the fact that you said women lose their value when they have children.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I want you to further elaborate, because maybe like Kanye, you didn't have enough time to explain what you meant. So what does that mean that a woman loses her value if she has a baby?
See, one thing about this, Kendra, I've learned and constantly learn that the weight of my voice has power, more power than I expected. And when I do have intimate conversations with women that are in my life, whether it is the mother of my children, whether it is, you know, the person that I'm with, mother, my father, aunties, my daughters, I just have to do a better job with expressing certain things. And as I have labeled myself, the culture's cousin.
Yes.
I would say I be tripping sometimes.
I am so happy you said that.
Yeah.
I think if I was one of your children's moms, I would have been very offended. If I was one of your kids to your children's moms, I would have been very offended.
Well, you're not.
Thank goodness for that. Damn,
you're not.
Say a Hail Mary or
Kendra.
whatever you pray to. You're not. And you don't understand. I think that Brother Cam, he shouldn't have recanted his statement, because part of his statement was correct. Just hear us out before the rage. Don't rage type. Let us do the job that he didn't do. He didn't explain what he actually meant, or what he was referring to and what he meant. But the fact of the matter is, you know, women having children, you lose value on the open market. To the man you had the children with, I don't think you lose value. I've seen in cases where you gain value, maybe to a detriment. Like, we as a culture, we put baby mama higher than wife. That's why we have more, the marriage, the levels and all that. We understand all that. We understand. Perfect. Fine. We get that. But on the open market, after you've had children by another man, when you go back out there to try to get another man, your value has went down, not your worth. We're conflating two different things here. Okay? Me and Queen, we had this conversation. We did the homework, but I'm not gonna do it for you. I implore you to go look up the word value and the word worth and see why there's a difference there and why you don't use them interchangeably. If you want to do that and come back to the video, you do that. We're going to continue on with the difference and the distinction. Okay. So with that being said, the value is what you lose on the open market. When you go back out there after you left the man that you had children by, and you coming out to the open market, to the other men out there, yes, your value goes down in that scenario. To the man you've had the children with, I don't think your value goes. I don't think it should, and I don't think it actually does. You may think in your mind, whatever's going on, you know, I don't know, your situation, every situation is separate, but that's not an automatic. You don't lose value to the man that you produce the offspring with. Am I right, Queen? We're on the same page here, right?
Yep. So again, y'all are conflating value and worth. Nobody should say that you're worthless. You're not worthless as a human being just because you had kids. Come on now. And this is what a lot of these chicks get on the internet. Oh, you're saying my worth is diminished. Nobody said that. Who is saying that? You know?
Right.
Like, no human being can say like you're worthless. Your value to the dating market has went down.
Yes.
So that's true.
Yes.
You know, I agree. So let us continue into this. Kendra thinks she got a win because she made him recant his statement. And later on, she's going to ask him to retract. Like, do you retract it? Like, I want you to specifically say you retract this statement. So let's get into it.
And I want to say this, when I came in here, I mean, I met you before in the past, you have great energy. Like, I don't think you have ill will intentions. So I love that you could sit back and say, maybe that wasn't correct.
And I get the opportunity to work alongside, as you met my team, majority of them on the Funky Friday side are women. I believe in accountability. So specifically, you know, when I have conversations with the Johnnays of the world, with the Elatras of the world, and they speak to me, it's always respectful, but it's to say like, hey, tell me what you're trying to say, and maybe I can give you advice or counsel you to saying certain things. I have been able to look back at my situation and say, hey, some of the things that I have said just set us back, bro. Like, man, I love my sisters, man. You know, I'm raising, you know, beautiful Black queens myself. And it's not a hit to any other cultures, creeds, ethnicity groups, but all I know first, or what I knew first, was Black. And I'm just trying to do right by my kind.
I love that. Do you retract the statement that a woman loses value when she has kids?
I apologize to the mother of my children. Yeah, I have 3 of them. And just knowing that I have to do better. I apologize to any person that have took offense to that, especially the Black queens, or women in general.
The only ones that took offense to it is baby mamas. I knew
true.
exactly what he was saying. Like, again, let me just put it in a different way.
Yes.
When you marry a man and you give him children in that union, that is a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful family. That's the covenant between you, that man, and God. Like, to go forth and multiply and all of that, that's beautiful. And that's what we're supposed to do. It is in marriage. Like, we wouldn't be having these conversations if we would just do it in marriage. Like, you're valuable, again, if we're talking about a marriage, you would be valuable to your husband, a wife giving a husband children. And what you just said, well, even if it's a baby daddy, baby mama situation, okay, the baby daddy finds value in the baby mama because she did give him kids. She gave him kids. She put her life on the line and birthed these children for her.
Right.
I mean, for him.
For him, right. They participated in bringing life together.
Exactly.
Right? Bringing forth life together.
So that's valuable for him because she gave him kids. Like, y'all like to pick and choose. Oh, it's my kids, but then it's his kids.
Right.
Like,
and then
y'all love to pick and choose that.
And then again, you know, we say F them kids and we play around, and you know, we dabble into that kind of, you know, rhetoric or whatever. But you having the children, it can increase your worth. You've brought humans into this world. These humans can do great things. It can increase your worth, but it's going to be adverse to your value on the open market. You see how those things don't swing always together? Yeah. Like your worth might not change. You could bring forth a person that's going to change the world in a magnificent way. That is part of your worth. That's part of your legacy, and, you know, to a certain extent, what you leave behind, your offspring, your tree, your balance. Oh yeah, that's for your worth. But again, when you taking this to other men who are basically the buyers in the market, it affects your value. That's what we're trying to get everybody to understand. I hope everybody's following along. I might not be doing the best job of explaining it, but just go do the homework, look at value, look up the word value, the meaning, the definition, and look up worth, the same meaning, value, definition, and then see where they contrast. And I think you could grasp what we're saying a little better if you're lost. But I know we got a small audience. Y'all know what we're saying. Let us continue.
Because I think oftentimes it is hard for people to say I messed up. And to be in a situation where I never meant intent, or I had never had intent to harm, to suppress, or anything else like that.
It was the word value.
Yes.
Because, see, value, and this is why this conversation is so emotional online, because, you know, women are saying, you got to make 100K. So if a man doesn't make 100K, he says to him, like, oh, you trying to say I'm worthless because I don't make 100K? So it's like, that's the emotional part of it.
Yeah.
we could take the word value out and put preference. Now that's fair. I host a dating show.
We can't.
No.
Value and preference, it does not go to it goes
They're
together.
not interchangeable, but
it
they kind of go
relates.
hand in hand. Yeah,
Right.
there you go.
Right. It's related, but
Mhm.
it's not interchangeable, Kendra.
You're
Like
right.
let's just dig
Break
a
it
little bit
down.
deeper. Value is more like what you like your strong, what do you have strong beliefs about? Like what is your non-negotiables? You know, a lot of men on the dating market say that they want a woman that has femininity, she's fit, and cooperates and things like that. So that's some things that they value. That's what they want in a wife. Now, when we talk about preferences, how I want to say it, like hair color and okay, she light skin, dark skin, body type, like you know, things like that. You might like curly hair. You might like her to wear you know, her hair short or long and things like that. You might, those are preferences.
But you value the femininity and the certain, you know, no children and things of that nature. Those might be
those are values.
That you got. But you prefer her to be slim, or you prefer her to be tall or whatever, short, you know, however that might go.
Yeah. So it's not gonna make or break. Okay. If you don't get it, that's fine. But at least I got the femininity and I got that and whatnot. So she doesn't understand what's the difference between value and preferences. So
she didn't do the homework.
Right. And like, so let's break it down in a way that people can understand, because there's a lot of corporate baddies out here. So when you go to a job interview, what is the interviewer looking for? They're looking for what value you bring to the company. What type of skills, what type of asset can you be to our company? I'm a manager, so I've done interviews, and this is exactly what I'm looking for as an interviewer. Well, how can you be an asset to my team? So that's that's value. What do you bring? But let's say, okay, I hire the person that brings the most value, that brings the most asset to my team. But the other people, that doesn't mean that they're worthless. Because I didn't hire you does not mean you're worthless as an individual or a human being. You still have worth. It's just that this job was not for you. And that's okay. So sometimes you have to understand, okay, well, that guy don't like me. That's fine. I wasn't for him. Y'all love to say this, but y'all don't
really believe it. Y'all don't live it.
It's okay. I'm not for him. I didn't bring the value that he was looking for. I'm not for him. That doesn't mean that I'm worthless as an individual. Again, the person that got hired for the job, the interviewer found value in them. The people that didn't get hired for the job, and even the person that did get hired, they're all got worth.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's how we look at it from that standpoint.
That's it.
Like nobody's saying you're less than, but when we get to the dating market, there's guys. The guy's he's the buyer.
That's right. Let's explain it from that point of view.
He's a buyer.
Exactly. He's expected to foot the bill. We've had this 50-50 conversation for years. Y'all not going 50-50. So that's out. So whatever you bring and whatever, you know, deductions or add-ons that you bring, expenses that you bring to this man, that's going to ding your value. It has to. Not your worth. Let's get off of that. It's going to take a hit to your value. I'm going to have to foot this bill, have a home big enough, deal with the attitude, all of that comes with that. I'm going to have to deal with that as a man in the head of household, provider, all the things that you want. So with that being said, I'm the buyer. I'm coming out my pocket. I'm going to pick the most value for my money. I'm going to get the best value for my money. I might be stuck on preferences in there, but I still would have to get I'm spending money, so I need return. Not literally return, but value for what I'm spending on my money. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we talk about. Now, again, that doesn't mean that you're worthless, because I'm not willing to call anybody worthless out here. You know what I mean? You might be a low down, stinking, dirty bum, but you're still not. I'm not going to call anybody worthless.
Right.
but you're not valuable to who you think, and especially the men that y'all like to chase, affluent, high earnings, and all that. Like we gotta really think about that. Not your worth. Don't get offended about when somebody doesn't value you in a situation. Don't take that as what you're worth. If we explain it, yeah, I know we following along, we might be saying it, but just we trying to touch home. See, this is again where we tried Kendra, you know, they point fingers at Kendra, but she has to understand that she's out here, she's a public figure, she has to watch what she says. And if she's going to be an advocate, at least come with the proper facts and do the homework. You know what I mean?
Right.
Explain it. If she could explain it to them, I'm sure they probably get it. They listen to everything else she said.
Yeah. And I think as a woman, once you understand the value versus worth conversation, you can hold your head up high. Okay, well, I didn't bring value to that man, but that doesn't mean I'm worthless. I got to go and cry myself to sleep. I'm not worthless as a human being.
No.
I didn't bring what that guy needed or whatever to be chosen. We not, again, we got to get out of this mindset of the pick-me's as well. You get chosen. Chosen mean that he deliberately took his time and vetted you, and he thought about it. You got chosen. You want to be chosen versus picked.
Picked, right? Tell them, Queen. Hit him with that one more time for those in the back.
You want to be chosen as somebody's wife versus just picked. Like chosen mean he took time to think about it. Okay, yeah, I think she my wife. Versus picked. Oh yeah, I take her. Come on. Sure. Or you the last person up. Okay, fine, whatever. I gotta look. Come on, girl.
Don't let that go over y'all heads, man.
So please understand that.
Word.
But let's get back to the conversation.
Men call in and they will say, I do not want a woman with children, right? I've heard that time and time again. I've actually heard it a lot. So I think that, you know, a person's value and worth is not attached to the relationship status. Yeah. And if we can look at it as this is a person's preference, which I think everyone can relate to because everyone has a preference. Women call in, they tell me he got to be 6 feet. He got to make 100K just to get through the door. So with that being said, a man has the right to his preference. So what happens is a lot of times I'll get men who don't have children and they're on the pursuit to start their family. And they will say vocally, I don't want to raise somebody else's children. I want to start my own family. So I will support it in the preference category.
You know what I found myself.
So he's valuing family. Like he wants to start his own family. Like that's something like that's a non-negotiable.
Right.
I want to start my own family. I'm not settling for nothing else. Y'all sit up here on this internet and talking, I'm settling. But he's saying, no, I don't want to. I want to start a family with my wife.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
You got the right. I want to start a family with somebody that don't got kids. I don't got kids. I want to start a family with someone that don't got kids.
Fair.
That's okay.
That's fair. That's a fair ask and a request. And that's a value. Now, on the other side, what she just said, ladies, or you know, if it's any of the cousins here, because y'all defended, you know, I know y'all be here and here, y'all hate us, but I'm trying to give you some good game. If you listen and stop, you know, closing your ears, I give you something you might could leave out of here with something. The problem with women, like what Kendra just said, y'all value y'all preferences. He got to be 6 feet. He got to be this and this and that. Like those things are preferences. That's not the value. That doesn't mean goddamn thing in the grand scheme of things. What do y'all value? Women, this I'm asking the ladies, what do y'all value? She just made a great point with her simplicity. Like, he got to be 6 feet. Y'all value the preference aspect instead of the actual value. And this is why we having this little rat race and we having this back and forth and this disconnect. We having a lot of babies and a lot less marriages. You're going with you're putting the value in the preference, and y'all confused with that. And then y'all again confusing your worth with your value. So this is all kind of jumbled up here. You know, it's interesting. This was an interesting part of the conversation. But anyway, let us continue.
In a situation that I should preface as well too, my experiences and the people that I've been around. Right. That's what I'm speaking off of. And the reality of it, when you do have conversations with said individuals that have counseled me, male and female, woman and man, I'm often reminded, like, Cam, bro, what you've experienced, not a lot of people have or will ever. So preface that. Right. The men that you've been around, hey, what you've experienced, that's typically the situation. Right. But in regards to that question, I should not have even put myself in a position to make people or women feel lesser than.
That was interesting. Like I said, we just wanted to touch on that. You know, words have meanings, and we've put together a language for a reason. There's a reason why those are two different words, and they again, just go through the homework and you'll see that they have two different properties. They have a lot of similarities too, things that cross, but there's key differences in there to where, you know, we're conflating two different terms, and it's giving each side like a bad, you know, pushback. Cam didn't do an initial job when he made this. I don't know again, let me say that. I don't know if I said that earlier, but I didn't hear his initial quote. I don't know what he said word for word, but he recanted his statement to what Kendra challenged him on, that the, you know, women have no value. When they have kids, they lose value. He didn't elaborate. So we took the, you know, time to elaborate on it. So I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but we just using that as a jumping off point to why you shouldn't conflate the worth and the value. You know what I mean? Again, Kendra has a much louder, literally and figuratively, voice than us. So if she could have, you know, touched on that, I think it would have hit home a lot harder to her audience and the people, which would be a lot of the people that would be upset, you know, who populates her show or whatever's the case. So that's what we wanted to do. We just wanted to come in here and touch on that. Queen, what you want to add on to that and anything else before we get up out of here?
Like you said, words have meanings. And I think I'm seeing a lot of where it seems like our community doesn't know like the definitions of words. Like they'll come in the comments and try to argue with us about words. And sometimes it even feel like you got to dumb stuff down for people to understand. And I'm like, how did that go over your head? But, you know, maybe we got to speak more of a, you know, just in layman's terms, you know, and it's not our core audience. It's them cousins. Let me just be honest. Yeah. The cousins, her following, they just as slow as she is.
They come in here raged up. Yeah, they beefed up when they come in here. They not actually listening a lot of times.
Right. If you listen and do the research, you know, and whatnot, like we not trying to hate. We don't hate nobody. You know, we just want the best for the community and whatnot. Right. And a lot of sisters is lost. You know, we got some brothers that's lost too, but but I'm seeing a lot with our sisters. You know, that feminist sisterhood is wild. Yeah. Like
radical.
And every time I say something about it,
here they come.
They get triggered. So yeah. Let me just reiterate. Let me say it again. It is better to be chosen as a man's wife than to be picked. And for my sisters, our core audience, that's my sisterhood. You know, I'm not rocking with this feminist sisterhood. I don't fit in it. I don't fit into it anyway. And so for my sisters, anytime they call you pick-me's, we're not taking that label anymore because we're not pick-me's. They pick-me's. They'll sit up here and beg for men's validation and attention. Lionesses don't beg. Queens do not beg.
Hello.
You don't have to beg for something that's already yours. Like, beg for your husband's time. money, nothing. He gives it to you. That's the part of you when you get the man and you get access. When you get underneath his covering, you get access to all of that. You ain't got to beg. You don't got to beg for attention, time, money, validation, none of that. It just it flow easily and whatnot. You don't have to beg. Don't beg. That's what they doing. And they want to project the pick me label onto us.
Yeah, I heard what she said. The queens, the lionesses, not jacking that pick me nonsense. I ain't even gonna go over. Rewind it if you ain't understand. She broke it down masterfully. So we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate everybody for coming. You know, like again, there was a couple more jewels in this video. You know, go over to Funky Friday, support Cam's platform. Go watch all the Kendra you can watch. Support everybody. Hope everybody, you know, prosper, get money. Let's keep the conversation going. Come back over here. Go somewhere else. We love it, man. It's just good to see, good to be in the conversation and the algorithm in the loop. So, you know, we're going to sign out. We will definitely catch y'all on the next one. We love y'all. We couldn't do this without y'all. Y'all be safe out there.